2. Given the following equations, determine if the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or y'all say neither or neither? Oh, we'll do that. Okay. So, what are the rules for parallel lines? How do we know if we have parallel lines?
Same slope.
Same slope. How do we know if we have perpendicular lines?
The slope is inverse. I mean, reciprocal. They equal -1.
Okay. Opposite reciprocal slopes. That's what your book says, because y'all reading that book, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're trying to figure out, do we have parallel slopes, lines, perpendicular lines, or? Right. So, we need to find our slopes, agreed? So this equation's a little shorter. So how could we find our slope in this equation? Solve for y. Okay? So, let's get y by itself. I'm going to move the 3 over because it doesn't matter which side of the equal sign the y is on. Yes or no? That's a question. Does it matter which side I put the y on?
No.
Okay. So we have negative 2x minus 3 equals negative 4y. Then we divide every term by negative 4. And we have to try to reduce our fractions if we can. Negative 2 over negative 4 reduces to what? Positive, right? Positive 1/2 x plus 3/4 equals y. Or if you solve for y on the other side, we should have the same. So here's our first equation. What's our slope in this equation? Okay, I'm just going to write that to the side because we're going to focus on that when we look at this equation. So, can we get this equation into slope-intercept form? 6x negative 5 times x. Can y'all see? Oh, okay, let's check. Negative 5 times 1. Negative 5. So we had to get rid of our parentheses. Before you move anything over, combine your like terms. So x, 6x minus 5x is 1x. X minus 5 equals 4y minus x. And since I solved for y on this side, I'm going to do the same just to be consistent, okay? So I'm going to move this x over. Becomes a positive x. Question? So we have 2x minus 5 equals 4y. We okay? We're going to divide everything by what? 4. When I say everything, I mean every term. So we end up with 2/4 reduces to what? I'll put my arrow here. 1/2 x minus 5/4 equals y. So we have the same what? Slopes. So our lines are? Yes. But you can't just, you're not going to get on the final and just circle and leave all this blank. You got to show some support. You got to show your work. Is that clear? Don't put your faculty in that situation. Show work. Show that you know what you're doing. Okay? All right. 24. Oh, that's another one. Let's not do that one. Let's do 25, okay? Because this, I know some of my students, they didn't do too well on this question on the last test. So how about you guys? Y'all did better? Oh my goodness. That's good. All right, I'm just going to rewrite it on my paper here so I have a little more room. Given the following function, my function is negative 8x minus 8. Determine the difference of quotient. We have to use the difference of quotient with the function given. So that's my function. So we need to take this function and plug it into our difference of quotient. All right. So what we're saying is, I want to replace every x with an x plus h. That's the first part. So that means if this is my function, everywhere I see an x, it's going to now become a what? So this would be negative 8, but you need parentheses, so we distribute the negative 8. Minus 8. You don't just drop that 8. This right here is going to replace f of x plus h. F of x is going to be replaced with negative 8x minus 8. So all I did was just do the x plus h first. We're going to put them together in this formula. Oh, I'm sorry, am I too high up? So f of x plus h is all of this. Negative 8 times x plus h minus 8 is f of x plus h. Minus f of x is only negative 8x plus 8, but I have to put it in parentheses because I have a minus in front, so we don't forget to distribute. All of that is over h is in Henry. Now we do the math. Negative 8 times x. Negative 8x. Negative 8 times h. Thank you. And don't forget to bring that other negative 8 down. Distribute. Negative times a negative 8x. Positive 8x. Negative times a negative 8. All of that is still over h's in Henry. In the numerator, do we have any like terms to combine? Yeah.
8x and 8.
Okay. Well, I did the 8x's first. Perfect. Gone. The negative 8, positive 8. Gone. Now I'm left with negative 8h over h, which means I can do what? Cancel out the h's and we're left with yes. If your denominator is not canceling out, you're doing something wrong. Your denominator should fall off. Okay? What'd I just say? In the difference quotient formula, that h should cancel out. Okay. I separate so you can see that's that part, that's that part. Where students miss these is they don't put the parentheses and then we don't distribute and then your problem's off and you can't cancel. Okay? All right, next page. 26. Can we do that one or we need to graph? Could you do that by yourself? That should have been my question.
Yeah. We can do that by ourselves.
Okay, say good. Go to 27. Yeah, let's do this one for sure. All right. Consider the following function. How do we know it's a function? Yeah, they're telling you k of x, function notation. Find the vertex. What form is this function written in? Vertex form. Vertex form is f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k.
Yeah.
If we know that, we can easily pull out the vertex. The vertex is written as h comma k. What is our h?
Positive 5.
All right, we got that. 5. What's our k? Yeah, negative 4 is not in a symbol, so we leave it as a negative 4. That's our vertex. Find x-intercepts, if any, and write them how. Okay. How do we find x-intercepts?
You set the x in the function to 0.
Okay, so to find x-intercept, set y equal to 0. That's where the function is, the k of x. So that is also my y, which is now a 0. And we have x minus 5 squared minus 4 that we need to work out to get x by itself. So that is 2x minus 5, yes? Or some of you might move the 4 over and use square root. That's okay too. It's up to you. There's more than one way to get to the right order pair. I'm going the long way so we can practice our FOIL, okay? That's x squared minus 10x plus 25 minus 4, x squared minus 10x plus 21. And this is factorable. X minus 3, x minus 7, set them equal to 0, and I'm going to have two intercepts. 7, 0, 3, 0. Now you don't have to use factoring. You could have moved the 4 over and used the square root property, and that's okay too. It's just a choice. Somebody had a question.
Why wouldn't you just, so you see how you wrote x minus 5 squared minus 4? Why wouldn't you just fill in the x with 0?
Because it says find the x-intercept, so we're looking for x-intercepts. You set the y equal to 0 to find x-intercepts. If you're looking for the other one, then you would. Okay. Yes, dear.
So when we square root, because I did it a different way, when we square root the 4, we used to do plus or minus 2.
Correct. And you'll get the same two x-intercepts. Thank you.
Wait, can you show us the other way of moving the 4 over?
Well, you have 5 methods to solve for x's. You can use completing the square, square root property, factoring, quadratic formula, u substitution. You have 5 methods. Now, when you're looking for intercepts, you want to find the shortest. So it depends on how strong you are. I like factoring because I can do it pretty quick, but square root property will work just as fast. So it's just a choice. So if you're used to doing the square root property, let's go this way. That 0 equals x minus 5 squared minus 4. You just move the 4 over. And to get rid of a square, we square root both sides plus or minus. Okay. And then this 2 cancels out the radical. Then I move the 5 over, 5 plus or minus 2. So that's where I get 5 plus 2 is 7, and 5 minus 2 is 3. So we still get the same result. Oh. Well, I want you to practice your factor, but that's fine. Okay, we got our x-intercepts. We wrote them in order pairs, yes? All right, what's step 3? Find 2 on the ground other than the vertex and the x-intercepts. So what I suggested to my students was to draw a table. And we know one point is 5, negative 4. That's our vertex, yes? We found the 2 x-intercepts, 7, 0, 3, 0. They're asking us to find 2 more points that are not those 3. Now, how do we, well, there's a lot of answers here. But if our goal is to graph, then we want to stay within the confines of our graph. And our graph is going from negative 10 to 10, yes? So no one in here should pick 100. We don't want 100 tick marks. So we want to stay within that frame of our grid, okay? So pick small numbers, maybe 1, maybe negative 1. So you pick, because it's telling you find 2 more points. So if I pick x is 1, I have to substitute in my original function, what is the y? So my original function was x minus 5 squared minus 4. So I'm plugging a 1 in here. That would be, I'm going to do my math here. 1 minus 5 squared minus 4. What's 1 minus 5? Negative 4 squared. 16 minus 4. See, I didn't pick a good number because I'm off my grid, but I could make an estimated where 12 falls. Or I could go and pick 2 and maybe that'll help. So I'm going to pick -2 instead of -1 for the second one. If I plug in a -2, I'm sorry, let me put it here. If I plug in a -2 here, and we do the math, that's -7 squared. Ooh, that's 49. That's even worse. I didn't pick good numbers. I should have picked 0. That's okay. So if we pick 0, 0 minus 5, -5 squared, 25 minus 4, that's still big. So this comes with practice. Do what? So my point is, a lot of us could have different points. Is that clear? Yeah, there's a lot of choices here. So let's see what we have. Can we make some good decisions here? 5, -4. 5, -4. Here's my vertex. I'm going to put my V as in Victor. Let's do our intercepts. 7, 0. Have a dot here. 3, 0. Have a dot here. So we know my U is going to go up, yes? We're just trying to see, well, how far? Let's make an educated guess. 112. 112, about right up here, yes? So we can make a pretty good educated guess. See, here goes and we know the vertex divides my axis of symmetry. So I can make a pretty good educated guess here, even though my points were off my grid. We need to be able to look at a function, pull out the vertex, calculate the intercepts, however you want to get there, find additional points, and plot. I know my U's aren't that great. Looking sorry. Okay, 28. We need to be able to do application problems because y'all are superstars at that, right? What? I didn't hear one word. Okay. 28. What are we talking about here? Ooh. The total revenue for Fred's Estates LLC is given as a function. R of x equals 400x minus 0.5x squared, where x is the number of apartments filled. What number of apartments filled produces the maximum revenue? What does the word max mean? The highest point. What does min mean? So if I said graph this, everyone in here should automatically assume this is going to look like this somehow. So that means my max is also my vertex, yes? Okay. So if that's the case, then we need to find the vertex to find the maximum value. Yes or no? Okay. So what have we learned in class that helps us find a vertex? The formula. What's our formula? -b divided by 2a. And then the function of that, if I need the number of apartments and, well, this one is asking for maximum revenue. Okay, so we do that. So if my function is R of x equals 400x minus 0.5x squared. Okay, so we need our b minus, what's our b value?
Is it negative, 400?
Right, this is my b in front of the x. So minus 400 divided by 2 times, what's my a value? Negative 0.5. I don't usually write the 0 in front, that's just me, but you can. So let's do the math. Where's our calculators, unless you're going to do this in your head? Negative 400 divided by negative, what's 2 times 0.5? Okay, let's take a step back. What's 2 times 5? Okay. If but I have a decimal, so I gotta move my decimal place over 1, yes? So I really have negative 400 divided by negative 1, which is, okay. So, what number of apartments filled produces the maximum revenue? We just got 400. Okay. But if I plug this 400 back into the function, that'll give me the dollar amount. The first number is the number of apartments we need to get the maximum dollar amount. Is that clear? So we don't need to go and waste time and plug it in here because of the question. So I need how many apartments to make my maximum profit? I need 400, yes.
I put it in the equation and I got 100.
Like negative 400 over 2 times negative 0.5, I got
2 times 5 is 10, right?
it's 0.5.
Right, I move my decimal over by 1. I move my decimal to the left, right? Not the right? Yeah. Question myself. Hold on. Let's stay on. Where's my question? Am I going crazy? I'm going crazy.
Stop the video.
Yeah.